Norwayne beat Kenton 48-42 on Saturday night at Paul Brown Tiger Stadium in Massillon, Ohio, in a Division IV Ohio High School Athletic Association state final. It was a wild affair, dominated by quarterbacks Matty Mock and Adam Wallace. The 11 lead changes, nearly 1,000 yards of total offense, were ample reason for MVPhd to be there.
Off the field after the ball game, because we will have presentation of awards to both teams immediately after the ball game.
My name's Alex Sater, and I'm your host. At halftime, I ran into Tim Langevin at midfield.
Norwayne Sharp, the Kenton Wildcats, 48-42 before 10,329 spectators Saturday in the D4 title game at Paul Brown Stadium. And there's no doubt about it, this game was the granddaddy of them all. It was the Bobcats' first state title, and it was the second time Kenton has finished runner-up to go with their two state titles. There were 11 lead changes, 13 touchdowns, 703 passing yards combined, all of which were a D4 title game records. 90 points were scored and nearly 1,000 yards in total offense, including, not to mention, there were 74 pass attempts. So if you liked offense, you would have loved this game.
You know, MVPhd's done, like 4 games like that this year, and they're the only 4 games I've ever seen like that. We did 4.
It was
out of control.
Yeah, it was staggering, and it was so neat the way it ended, you know, more or less whoever had the ball last, it was up to them to win. You know, just a little under 3 minutes left in the game. Norwayne senior quarterback Adam Wallace, who had a brilliant performance, marched his team 80 yards in 9 plays. They were down 42-41 at the time. And then he capped that drive with a beautiful pass, 31-yard touchdown pass to Caleb Harris with 31 seconds left. It was just a really neat, exciting game. I did a little research here, you know, and Paul Brown Stadium, between the two of them, has really been noted for a lot of thrilling games in its history. Back in 1996, in a D6 game, Negatory beat St. Henry 61-58 in triple overtime. That same year, the D1 title game was at Paul Brown Stadium. Line, the senior, kind of like this game, shocked St. Ignatius 38-30. And then, of course, last year we saw a doozy when Maple Heights beat Trotwood 45-33 in that D2 thriller. So there's something about Paul Brown Stadium where we have a lot of exciting games.
This one would have to rank near the top of anyone's list, though. And then, as you're listening to this, I hope you're watching it carefully. It was wondrous to watch in person.
Oh, it was just back and forth. You know, quarterback Adam Wallace against quarterback Matty Moss.
Stats. Give us stats. I mean, I think these they speak for themselves.
Yeah. Well, let's start with number 45, the quarterback, Adam Wallace. And I found out the reason he wears that number is because that's the number his dad wore when he played high school football.
Excellent.
You don't see too many number 45s taking snaps.
It was hard to watch for a few plays.
Yeah, I thought maybe I missed something and the fullback got the ball and was running.
I figured maybe he started as a linebacker or something and moved over.
Yeah, well, he plays both ways, and he does play linebacker on the defensive side of the ball, so that makes sense. But this kid accounted for 422 of the team's 495 total yards. He had 282 yards passing with 4 touchdowns, and then he ran for another 140 yards and 3 touchdowns. The beneficiary of all this was their wideout, Caleb Harris. He had 5 catches for 137 yards and 2 touchdowns. This kid's only a sophomore, but he really impressed me out there. He did a great job of creating separation with the defenders. There was a few plays he was wide open. He just juked people out. And then, of course, we got to talk about senior quarterback Matty Mock, you know, the 2011 Ohio Mr. Football. You know, he bowed out a remarkable career with 27 of 50 passes for 421 yards, 5 touchdowns. He did have 3 picks, and he was sacked 5 times. But this year, he finished with 7,181 total yards, 92 scores. He passed for 5,413 yards this year, 1,768 yards on the ground. And the neat thing is he completed nearly 70% of his passes this year. It's roughly like 67-68%. Bryce Backler went out in grand style. He had a great game. He had 5 catches for 178 yards, 4 touchdowns. That's the most, tied for the most receiving touchdowns in a D4 game. And I like what Joe Harbour had to say after the game, the head coach for Norway. He said that, you know, his team really did feel confident coming into this game. They got their spread offense idea from Coach Mock, and his team's defense has been going up against that spread all year long in practice. So he felt that, you know, they knew how to defend the spread, the empty backfield set. He stressed that the secondary played the receivers very tightly, and they put a lot of pressure on Mock.
Real quick, describe your emotions right now. We're just elated. Like I said, it's all about the kids and it's my staff. We all work our butts off, put in lots of long hours, and this is the payoff you always hope for and dream for. So just thanks to all the support from our community, more play our kids. We asked them to dedicate to a very intense off season, and they dedicated to that, and this is their payoff for it. It's all hard to do. Well, the scheme worked pretty well, yeah. I mean, we gave up a couple blown coverages and a missed tackle, but we made them earn everything, you know. We took away their screen pass, made them try to go deep, we contained it pretty well. We didn't get let us. Talk about walls here.